Welcome to the Secret Math of Money. This show is meant for entertainment purposes only. I hold no financial certifications or information that is not generally available. No guarantees are stated or implied. It is your money, and you are responsible for any decisions you make regarding it.
Saturday, June 24th, 2017, and this is the Secret Math of Money podcast presented by Evil Bunny Consulting. I'm your host, Tyrone Griffin, and it's wrong podcast. These are all the things you should have learned in high school about money but didn't. Welcome, everybody. I apologize for sweating like I am. Long story short, I did hot yoga this morning and last night. I did 2 hot yoga classes. Yeah, we'll leave that alone. 105 degrees in the room. But anyway, enough of that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, for coming back this week. First of all, let me just give you a little background. Well, first, let me say this. I'm not a certified financial planner, or I have no certifications in finance other than my degrees in accounting and finance. I'm not a certified planner, recommender, advisor, or anything. Anything you get from this podcast, take it as only my opinion. So if you tend to follow some of my advice and lose money, you're on your own. My goal is to inform you about things. My goal is not to advise you in any way. So I just want to get that clear up front. I'm not an advisor. I'm not trying to advise. All I'm trying to do is inform people about things that I think we should have all learned in college or high school, especially, and we didn't. So that's it. Let's talk about it. This week's topic, and it's interesting, I was planning the topic and a couple of articles came up. In USA Today. This week's topic is the money mind. What do I mean by the money mind? Put simply, rich people are always thinking about their money. Unfortunately, and I apologize, I'm sweating. I jumped in the shower, but I just got out of this class this morning. Everything we do in life, just remember this, everything we do revolves around money. I know that say, no, it doesn't, it's all love and peace, whatever, yeah. But everything we do has money involved. You go on vacation, you go to work. Why do you go to work? For money. You buy a car. When you want to get a car, you think about how much it's going to cost. Everything we do, you want to go out to eat, you want a hobby, anything we do involves money. That's just the way a capitalist system works. Everything involves money. You can go take a walk in the park for free, but you got to buy sneakers. So you got to buy sneakers, they cost money. So this idea is my idea of the money mind is that we should keep our mind. There was an old rap that said, "My mind on my money and my money on my mind," all the time. I'm not saying we get obsessed with it, but I'm saying always be aware of the fact that money interweaves itself in everything we do. Just understand that. Hey, Brad, my old buddy, karate, my older brother in karate. But anyway, this week in USA Today, there was an article, and it was about this woman who her parents taught her to save, and now she plans to retire at 40. And think about that a minute. I mean, I'm past 40. A lot of us are past 40. This young lady is retiring or planning to retire. She opened her own company. That's a whole other thing. But reading the article, she did some things. And I thought about, we weren't taught a lot about money. Let's be honest. High school, college, we just weren't taught. Even now, I don't think there's not a lot of things being taught about money. But just because we weren't taught about money doesn't mean we should pass that legacy on to our children and not teach them about money. Okay? So how do you teach your child and give your child that money mind? First of all, you have to have the money mind. And as like I said, everything we do involves money. But here's the thing. There's a couple of things that impact money. Like, okay, I'm jumping around a little bit. I apologize. One of the things that keeps us from saving, one of the biggest things is instant gratification, because we want it now. And people say time is money. Yep. You will pay more for a movie ticket or concert or game or whatever on opening night than you will 2 or 3 weeks later. It's the same show, but people will pay more now. Time is money. Okay. Hit while the iron is hot. Super Bowl tickets. 2 weeks before, as you get closer to kickoff, the price rises and then it drops. Why? Because the value of that ticket declines because people want to be there for kickoff. And once you miss kickoff, well, not that important to get all those things. So that's what we say. Time is money. In real estate, location. Location is money. You'll pay more for the same house next in a good neighborhood than you will in a bad neighborhood. So let's start talking about getting our own money mind. It was something in my notes I wanted to make sure I hit on. I said the biggest barrier to saving is immediate gratification. When I moved into my subdivision, one of the things that I saw a lot of people do was, when they were building the subdivision, and for the first couple of months, every so often you would see like a rent-to-own truck coming in, or a furniture truck. People had this idea: I got a new house, I want to get new furniture, and everybody would just run out and buy new furniture. Why? Because I got a new house. Because we want it now. And okay, I can't afford $4,000 now, but I can do rent-to-own. I can pay a little bit at a time, just like credit cards. Think about credit cards. People that use credit cards for things that they can't afford because they want it now, but they'll pay for it over time. Layaway used to be kind of the same thing, but with layaway, you didn't get it until you paid for it. But with credit cards, a lot of times you buy it now, and you pay for it for the next 5 or 10 years or whatever. That instant gratification. Okay, that's one of the biggest barriers to saving. Keeping up with the Joneses. How many of us, let's be honest, how many people have gone on vacation or spent some money on something to appear richer than they are? I remember hearing a story about somebody who went spend a weekend at a hotel. They did a staycation getaway weekend at a hotel. And the hotel was more expensive than they thought when they got there. And because they didn't want to look bad in front of the clerk, no lie, we pulled out cash and paid for it. And they spent the weekend pretty much in the room starving because they had no money left, because they thought they were going to be able to put it on the credit card. The credit card got declined, so they had to pull out cash, and they had no money, and they spent the weekend literally sitting in the room, with no money, no food, couldn't afford to go anywhere. But that ego got involved, okay, and they did it anyway. What they should have done was just said, no, we're just not gonna go. We'll go somewhere else. People do that. How many people buy a round of drinks for everybody, just to show off? I remember years ago, I was part of an African American Internet Alliance a long time ago, and we actually went to the White House and had a 2-day conference with us. And the night of the first conference, a lot of people went to in D.C., Washington D.C., a place called Bet on Jazz, and people went there. And these were people from big companies like BET and ESPN. I was there by myself, so I went home. I went to McDonald's, went back to my room. But I heard the next day that people were there, passing out business cards, buying a round of drinks because they had the corporate card. They could just charge everybody. And it was an ego thing, Lou, I can buy drinks for everybody, boom, bought round of drinks for everybody because I'm that important kind of thing. But those are the kind of things that we got to get away from, because that's not money minded. Okay, rich people always got their mind on their money and their money on their mind. Okay, so how do we translate that? How do we teach our kids that? Because we didn't learn that. So how do we not make the mistake that was made with us? Okay, how do we get our mind right, and then how do we get our kids' mind right? That is the question. One of the easiest ways, most effective ways, I think, with getting your kids' mind on their money is to play the game Monopoly. Now, I don't play Monopoly pretty much anymore because it's a long game, man. I mean, you can't play no game 4 or 5 hours. You got to play till somebody run out of money. But it does get you thinking about it. Puts you in that mindset of, okay, I want to buy this, but I don't have enough money. And depending on how the rules you use, you can borrow money from people, and let me borrow some money from you to buy this. And they say, well, I'll give you $500, but you got to give me back $7. Or you give me the property. That's the mindset of Monopoly. I'm not saying Monopoly is the greatest game in the world or anything like that, but it is something that will teach you about how money works. It is definitely something that will teach you how money works. Give your kids an allowance. Now, think about giving an allowance. You give your kid an allowance, and then you just walk away. And you know, oh, little Joey has money. I'm giving little Joey $10 a week. But you don't show little Joey how to spend his money. And here's a question. How do you spend money? Well, how much should you save? How much should you spend? My rule of thumb, when I first started working, was my money was in three buckets. A third, and a third. A third of it is going to go to taxes. You can't cut, the government going to take theirs right off the top. So you got 2/3 of your salary left. What I tried to do was live on 1/3. Okay, I geared I was lucky enough to find an apartment, and I said, okay, I can live on 1/3. And the other third I just saved. And I lived well under my means for years. Thank God I did, because things happened later on, and I'm glad I had that money. But what happens is, we get, again, when I moved to my subdivision, everybody bought furniture. Kids graduate from college. First thing they do, I gotta go out and buy a brand new car. Show that I'm doing well. I got a job and I'm being successful. You ain't got to do it. But what I'm saying, give your kids an allowance, okay, but don't let them just have free reign to do whatever they want. Don't make it free money, because if it's just free money, the value is not the money you're giving them. It's the life lessons you're trying to teach them. So if you teach your child, okay, here's your money. Now I'm paying for your food. I'm paying for your clothes. I'm paying for your heat, hot water, your all the things you need to live. I'm giving you this money. Now, if you want to go and buy candy or there's some things you want to buy, this is your money to do that. But you have to save a certain amount of this money. Okay, and maybe you say 50-50. You can only spend 50% of it, but make them save it. If you're one of those parents where your kid went to college and had to move back home after college and got a job, make them pay your rent. Make them pay you something. Once they get a job, make them pay you something. And he's like, well, I'm trying to help my son or daughter get off on the right foot. You don't want to raise a Paris Hilton. And with all due respect to Paris Hilton, you don't want to raise a kid that, heaven forbid they lose the family money and they got to go out and get a job. Okay, you don't want to, here's the thing. You want to be nice to your kids. You want to, you always, want to shield them and shelter them from the problems that you have. But you do that too much when your kid does run into a problem. When they do have it, they don't know how to deal with it. You want to teach your children to be creative, to be inventive, to be adaptable. I got this money. I got this problem. How do I adapt to it? Okay. So I said my rule was a third, and a third. That was just my rule for me, because I got some paranoias about being broke. So that's a whole another story for another time. But if you're gonna give your kids some money, give them something. Give them some responsibilities. Don't just give your kid an allowance for free. Make them do the chores. It's funny. My mother, and this is a true story. My brother had a job. He had a paper route, and I used to deliver papers for him because he did a couple things. He would play football and stuff like that. But my mother used to charge him. This is the truth. People know my mother. She would, if he left his clothes, either of us, but I didn't have any money, so I didn't leave mine. But if he left his clothes, around the house, if he didn't clean up, she would take his clothes and make him buy them back. So, oh yeah, he left some socks. Okay, she took them. How much of them is 50 cents? Oh, you want two? That's $1. It taught him to stop leaving his stuff around. This is my older brother. But she was teaching him about money. She was teaching him the value of money. Okay, so if you give your kid allowance, make them do something. Make some chores. Not make them go paint the house, but make them do something. Okay, the rest of their lives, everything they deal with is going to involve money. So make them do something to earn that money. Okay, so you're gonna give them allowance, fine. Now, here's the next thing. As they get older, maybe they're 10, 11, 12, you guys go on vacation. Kids don't know anything about the finances of vacation. And you say, well, they shouldn't. They should just be about having fun. Yeah, but you know what? Try to teach some lessons in there when you're talking to your kid about money. Try to teach them something, get some benefit of that. Sit down with your kids. Say, okay, here's where we're going. Here's what it costs. Okay, here's what we're paying for this, what we're paying for this. Here's our discretionary money, for trinkets. If you go to Disney World, here's the money that we're gonna set aside to pay for Disney hats, or eating in the park, or whatever. Show them, just want you to know this is how these things are. This is what it costs, so that they just don't go, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And then his parents, oh yeah, we get it for them, make them happy. But we set them up for, in my opinion, not failure, but we set them up for a lot of the same situation a lot of us are in, where we just don't understand, money. We don't understand credit card statements. We don't understand, why the bank may not be the best place to put our money if we want it to grow. Because nobody ever told us that. So just start teaching your kids those things. About the value of things. So, and then as they get older, as they become a teenager, maybe, their chores will increase. You want $5, you got to go cut the grass. Or, you got to do the dishes every night, or some, make them earn the money. Make them earn, that so that they appreciate the value of it. I thought about, the three things that are like money, food, and time are the three things that some people feel you can't get enough of, and you never have enough of. Okay. Food, yeah, that's a iffy on that. But money and time, you never have enough of either one. You never can get enough of either one. Okay. And once you spend one, it's gone. Once you waste one, it's gone. So teach your children the value of things. Now, as they become teenagers, they start doing things. Again, pay them. You want to give them an allowance, fine, but make sure they're putting some of that money away. Okay, make sure. Explain why the bank is not the best place money can grow, please. Okay. By the way, thank you, Dewanda Rich. Thank you. One thing, I put notes together, but I keep my notes kind of loose because I always want this to be a conversation, not a lecture. A bank is not the best place to let your money grow. Look at the interest rate you're getting at the bank. In a nutshell, that's it. Banks will give you interest on your money of about 0.5%. Granted, that's more than you'll get putting it under your mattress, but it's not more than you'll get putting it under your mattress. People used to say, keep your money in, have 6 months of expenses in the bank for a rainy day. Because there's definitely value to that statement, putting the money someplace. But say if you make $100,000 a year and you build up a nest egg of $50,000 emergency fund. You put it in the bank, and the bank gives you $4.85 interest on your $50,000. It's not worth it to me. But it's guaranteed. Yeah, it's guaranteed, but it's not worth it. For that guarantee, you're giving up a lot of money. I would always say invest that money. Now, yeah, you say, well, stocks are risky and they can fluctuate. Yeah, but there are safer. You could look in bonds or something, or do a mix of bonds and stocks or whatever. The best place depends on how much risk you want to take. I cannot say what the best place is, but my point is the bank is not giving you enough interest. That's the real reason. Go to your bank and see what interest rate they're giving you on your savings and checking, and then go to that bank and ask what their rates are for a car loan, and you'll see the gap of what they are making on your money. You are giving your bank what it comes to an interest-free loan. Okay, you're giving them that money for free, but boy, if you bounce a check or if you do something, they're going to hit you with more fees. They will hit you with more fees than they gave you in interest. Think about that a minute. Okay, you put $5,000 in the bank and they give you $4 whatever interest for the year. You bounce a check and it costs you $75. Okay, so see, just understand where banks make their money, and where their goal is to not give you any money. The best place to put it. We shy away from stocks. That's one of the things that people always shy. Just name something, stocks. I say for me, I put my money in the stock market. And you think that's crazy? Okay, think it's crazy. But just bonds, there's government bonds, even a CD. Well, CD rates are pretty bad right now. But if you have money, first of all, if you're saving that kind of money, I would encourage you to put more into your retirement. If you're able to put away a big chunk next day, put more into your retirement. Use your credit cards. Get credit cards, don't use them, but keep them for an emergency fund. Even if you do buy stocks, and we talked about stocks, and I will talk about stocks many, many more times on this show. Even if you do buy stocks, you can buy stuff that will grow. I mean, I bought Netflix back in January. I'm up like 60-some% right now. There's some things you can buy that are, they're not totally safe, but they've been growing a while. Look at the track record; they've been growing. But here's the thing: if you need your money, this is the key. If say you have 100,000, you make 100,000 a year, and you save 50,000 for that rainy day. When do you ever think you're going to need $50,000 by 3:00 this afternoon? You're not, but that's what when you put money in the bank, that's what you're betting on. That, okay, if I need this $50,000, I can get it before closing. After 5:00, you gotta wait till the next day. But if I needed it, if somebody calls me at noon and says they kidnapped my child or something, I got a great business opportunity, but you got to reply by 3:00. Oh, I can go get the $50,000 and give it to them. If you invest in the stock market, in stocks, in anything, you can get your money back in 3 days. So when do you think you're ever going to need your money back? By 3:00. But that's what the bank gives you. I can get my money by 3:00. In return for that convenience, which you most likely will never need, they're not going to pay you any interest. They're basically, it's like putting your money in a safe deposit box. Seriously, it's like putting it in a safe deposit box, or it's like putting it in your mattress. They're just not giving any interest rate on money. It's sitting there, and banks are making a ton of money. They are investing your money like crazy. I've said it before, stock market, it can be dangerous. It can be scary, but it is not as bad as people would have us think it is. It really isn't. Okay. And I've done a show, and I'll probably do more shows on how to get started in investing. Start small, invest $20 or $30 to get your feet wet, to understand how to keep track of stocks. Once you put your money in something, you'll watch it. So invest $30 in a stock, $30. If you lose that $30, you've learned something. But anyway, to answer your question, for me, I invest in stocks. There are mutual funds you can invest in. I talked about mutual funds. Well, I don't personally use mutual funds, but there are lots of things that, I think even credit unions may give you a more interest rate. I'm not sure, but your goal is to grow your money, period. Your goal is to grow your money. You put this much in, your goal is to make more. That's it. You don't want to put in $50,000 and 6, 8, 10 months later, or 2 years or 5 years later, you got $50,000. That money, when we talk about this show, we talk about the money mind. How do I grow my money? How do I keep from spending so much? And how do I grow my money? Okay. Like I said, rich people, they always got their money on their mind. They may not talk to you about it all the time. They may not say anything, but rest assured, they always got their money on their mind. They always know where their money is and what money they have. Your goal is to get your money to work for you. Compounding interest and things like that. Your goal is to get your money to work for you and not just have it sitting somewhere where it's not doing anything for you. But my recommendation is look into stocks. It is not look into penny stocks. Again, put $20 or $30 into a stock or $10 into a stock and just make yourself watch it. That's where you train yourself. Me, I got my portfolio in my phone. It wasn't that hard to do. On the iPhone, there's a finance thing on the home screen. And I can pull up and look and see where my money is doing pretty much every day. My investment, my portfolio, I can see how it's doing. It is that easy. It might take you 10 minutes, 20 minutes to set it up, but once you set it up, it's as simple as, let me look at it. Okay, and that's what you want. You want to train your mind that you're constantly looking at. One of the first things I do after 9:30 every morning, 9:31, is I look at my portfolio because that's when the stock market opens. I want to see what happened. But that's the money mind. It's always thinking about your money, always thinking about how your money. Now, again, I'm not saying be obsessed with it. Now, here's the thing. People buy cars. Now, down here in Atlanta, I'm in the ATL. And one thing I heard down here a long time ago was that 80% of the luxury vehicles in Atlanta are leased. To me, the only reason to lease a vehicle is you run a business and you can write it off. But a lot of people lease vehicles because the payments are real low and they can get a really expensive car. But you're basically doing a long-term rental. I had the misfortune of having to rent a car about 8-9 months ago for like 2 months. the car was having trouble. I'd keep renting a car, and I think I paid literally I was paid $1,000 a month, for that car, for the rental of that car. When you lease a car, your payments are low, but you don't own anything, and you're always, once that lease is up, if you went over your mileage, you got to pay them. Okay, if you got a big dings and stuff in the car, you got to pay to get that fixed. And once you give all that out, you got nothing. Okay, but that's where that keeping up with the Joneses comes in. I mean, you drive down 75 any morning, and I see Bentleys and Maseratis, and it's like these people are going to work at 7 o'clock in the morning just like me. It's like if I got a Maserati or a Bentley, I'm not getting up till noon. If I can afford that car, I'm not going to work at 7 in the morning. I'm set up where I ain't got to get up till noon. Okay, but that's that keeping up with the Joneses. I'm being honest. This is what it is. This is what it is. I love luxury cars. I love BMW 7 Series. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna have me one day, unless one of y'all want to give it to me today. But I'm gonna have one. But rest assured, when I get one, I'm gonna walk into the dealership like the mafia with a briefcase full of money. Bam! Drop it on there. Open it up. Nothing but 100 stacked up, and I'm gonna say I want that car in 1 hour and a coffee. That's how I'm gonna roll. But I'm not gonna go into debt, crazy debt. I got a car note now, but I didn't have a car note for 15 years, thank God. 15 years I did not have a car note. People was laughing, well, you driving old hoopties to work. Yeah, but I'm getting to work. It ain't, I'm getting to work. And like, well, the honeys don't like that you drive a hoopty. Well, you know what? I got a house. If I got to impress a honey with a car, that ain't the right honey for me. Plain and simple. Okay? Ladies, same thing. If your man, you got to impress your man with what you got, your Michael Kors purse, and you got to impress somebody with that kind of stuff. Those ain't the right people for you, because folks will let you go broke trying to impress them, and I've seen people do it. $300 purse, $4 in it. Okay, boy, I got my Michael Kors. Fellas, we the same way. Guys are the same way. What it takes a lot of times for people is to really seriously, truly go broke for people to wake up and go, yeah, I shouldn't be doing that. So my goal is to try to get you to that point before you go broke. Having nice things is nice. There's nothing wrong with having nice things. There is nothing wrong with having nice things. New Brooklyn is down here with me in ATL. I'm in Riverdale. Thanks. I'm enjoying this. Hey, I'm in Hiram. We got to catch up sometime. All my Newburgh people. But I'm saying I love having nice things. Everybody does. That's just, but when you paying 5 times more, Nikes. Remember when we was in high school, it was Lee jeans, it was Nikes, Fila's, Gazelle sunglasses, all that stuff. Nike. Remember they got something bad. You just put a sweatshirt for $45 with a Nike swoosh on the front. So you just doing free advertising, and you were paying them a whole lot of money for that. But it's a sweatshirt. But why do people get it? Because it's got the Nike logo. I recently went to Disney World. I love Disney World. Love it to death. Them Disney sweatshirts, stupid money. Why? Because they got Mickey and Minnie on them. It's a sweatshirt. It's keeping you warm. Have grand need to pass this on. Yep, there you go. That's right, exactly. When I get grandkids, believe me, I'm going to try to pass it on to them too. Thank you. Prophetess DeWanda Rich, thank you for your question. Everybody else, thank you for listening. On this show, as you can tell, I get hyped up when I get a question. I'm weird like that. But I always am amazed that I can talk for a half hour about stuff. And I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you listening. But again, bottom line is this. The money mind, think about your money. Always think about your money. Because rich people are always thinking about their money. Always thinking about their money. Okay? Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Because the Joneses will go broke with you. Or the Joneses might have, they might have a great uncle that just passed on and left them a bunch of money that they ain't telling you about. Ain't nothing funnier than 2 people living across the street from each other. Both of them got nice houses and nice cars, and they keep trying to one-up each other, and ain't nobody got no furniture. Okay, ain't nobody got no furniture. They eating Spam, but they come out the house and they got their nice, Steve Harvey suit and whatever else, and and they gators on, but man, they about going broke, trying to keep up with, trying to one-up each other. Don't get caught in that trap. Do not get caught in that trap. So anyway, I've been talking for a half since 1980. Kenny Cooper, we're going to talk about that. But anyway, everybody, thank you for tuning in. The show will be on Facebook Live. It's on YouTube and it's on iTunes. You can get all these shows on 3 different places, okay? So with that, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your love, people. And we'll be doing this again in 2 weeks. Otherwise, everybody have a great day and stay away from that hot yoga. It's hot. Take care. Bye-bye.